Call to order this Planning Commission meeting of June 8th, 2022. Roll call members. All members with the exception of Council and Commissioner Nasser and Commissioner Bailey are present. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Staff introductions.
Jamaica Banker, Recording Secretary.
Spencer Long, Parish Attorney.
Fournier, Director of Planning and Development.
Eric Poche, Senior Planner.
Lance Brock, Zoning Official.
Thank you, gentlemen. Part 5, Chairman has no comments tonight. Number 6, public comment on any agenda item. Ms. Banker, has anybody signed up to speak?
No one signed up.
Okay, we will close the public comment period. General business. Adoption of the proposed Ascension Parish Planning and Zoning Commission bylaws. I'd like to take a quick moment to speak about this. Commissioner Nasser appointed Commissioner Miller to be the committee chairperson for the updating of the bylaws. Commissioner Miller took his responsibilities very sincerely and proudly, and he did an excellent job in working with those members of the committee. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to him, and he'll give us an update.
All right, thank you. Just a quick thank you to Commissioners Vonado and Shake Snyder on this committee for their tenured insight as to what these bylaws should include. And thanks to the planning staff, Mr. Fournier, Ms. Webb, and Council, Mr. Long, for y'all's work on this endeavor to help get this document ready for adoption. And I do want to thank Mr. Nasser for tasking me with this project to head up. We put together a bylaws document that is consisting of about 85 to 90% of guidelines that were previously discussed for implementation by other councils and committees in different commissions. The remainder of the document picks up scenarios that aren't specifically covered by either statute or Robert's Rules of Orders, and maybe a little more specific to our commission duties that we have before us. Just going to run through a quick little overview of these laws and then answer any questions that the commission may have. It just goes over the election procedure for our officers, absenteeism and qualifications, for the commissioners that are appointed up to this board, and then the meetings themselves of specific items of how we're going to conduct throughout the agenda, as well as some decorum and censure ideas for our behavior, at both through the public and up here on the commission, on the board itself. I would like to make a couple of changes to the agenda packet document that we had discussed during some of our staff and commission and committee meetings, that I think just some general housekeeping that may have gotten slipped through there. Article 2, item number 3, the term of the chairperson ends prior to, we're going to add the word annual elections. I think that clears up some of the resignation areas.
Mr. Fournier?
Yeah, I'd recommend, Mr. Miller, if you could make a motion to introduce it and
Okay.
then document the changes that you want to make to the document after the motion's been made.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd recommend that.
All right. Well, then, before we move to that motion, then I'll ask the commission if they have any questions, that they weren't clear on, before we make that motion.
Yes, so commissioners, at this time, this is our open forum. You've been presented with our bylaws document. If there are any changes that you would like to be made, the method that we're going to do that, you can you'll be recognized, give your opinion, and we'll take that as a motion to after we introduce this document, and then we can make any of those changes necessary. So open it up on the floor. Okay, Mr. Villa?
Yes, so on Article 4,
Number 5, the informal presentation, that's dealing with something that we invite in somebody to present?
Mhm.
Okay. So the only minor thing, it's not to exceed 5 minutes. You might increase that to 10 minutes. You're giving developers 10 minutes. I don't know. It's minor, but depending on what the subject matter is, can they get their presentation complete in 5 minutes? I mean,
No, it's
just
valid. Let's put that as a potential change. And so what we'll do after we introduce the document, that'll be something that we can, that's very valid. Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Miller.
All right, I'm going to introduce this document as it is in the agenda with just a few changes.
You need to make a motion.
I'm going to make a motion to adopt it as it is in the agenda.
Okay.
With the following changes.
Hold on. We got a motion to adopt the document as listed in the agenda. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Varnado. All in favor? Okay. Any opposed? Okay. That motion is adopted. So now,
I'm going to make the following amendments that, under Article 2, Item number 3, if the term of the chairperson ends prior to the annual, we're going to add the word annual election of chair or vice chair, the vice chair shall fulfill the vacancy for the unexpired term. I
Okay.
think this will clear up some of the resignation, if someone, decides to leave for whatever reason.
okay, that's going to be one amendment.
And then Articles 3, items number 1, if commission member has 3 illegitimate absences, not more than,
Okay.
from the regularly scheduled meeting in a calendar year.
And have we determined any of those methods for illegitimacy?
Well, that's going to be to my next
Okay.
point there. For item 2, if a commissioner cannot attend the meeting, it's his responsibility, his or her responsibility, to notify planning department and the chairman prior to the scheduled meeting time. We're going to strike that 48-hour
Mhm.
requirement. And if a miss occurs for the meeting, I would motion that, or amend it to say that it counts no matter what, but that commissioner has the option to request an appeal from a panel such as the planning director, the chairman, and council to justify and whether that miss is valid or is illegitimate and counts.
Legal, do we have any issues with it being worded that way? Where we're just going to have all absences are considered equal. If essentially they need an excusal, they can petition to you, planning staff, and the chairman?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to maybe add in the word reasonable somewhere in that. If it's in a reasonable absence, I think that might be a little bit better if we include that in the wording somewhere.
Okay. Let's rephrase it to something like that. By the way, anybody on the commission or at any time, if you would like to speak on this, please interject. This is our open discussion for this, so we want everybody to have their input.
And I think that it should read somewhere that, if somebody has a death in a family, a child or family member sick, that's should be a valid excused absence and shouldn't count against somebody. If you just don't show up and don't call the chairman and let him know that something happened, then obviously that's, counts against you.
And obviously, what this is ultimately, I'll paraphrase a little from Mr. Miller. The goal of all this is we just want to make sure we're all holding each other accountable. Nobody is trying to just up and get any of us removed. The goal of all this in the bylaws is we would make a recommendation to the council to potentially take action. And then it is up to the council if they chose based on an absenteeism for removal. So I want that clear to everybody. Okay, Mr. Miller?
Yeah, it's not my intention to have everybody pulled off of here, but
No.
I think we do owe a certain a level of representation to the parish and to the public for, the duty that we swore, that we were appointed to. So, yeah, as Mr. Long stated, if it's a reasonable excuse, then so be it, and I think there's multiple avenues for appeal, because it's going to go through, an appeal to the chairman, planning director, and council, Mr. Long, and then you still have that option, once the recommendation goes to the council, you have another opportunity to explain, whatever the case may be to them and let them weigh in on it.
Okay. Commissioner Villa?
Yeah, so you're going to change illegitimate to reasonable absences? Is that what I heard?
Is that what legal is recommending?
Yeah, I think that would be a better explanation. And because I think illegitimate might just cause some confusion.
Right.
So I think it should more likely read, if there's someone misses 3 unreasonable absences.
Right.
Okay.
That's a little bit easier standard to be judged by as well, compared to illegitimate.
Okay.
And then what did you say about the strike in the 48 hours? What?
If we're not going to require, number 2 is going to read, to notify the department and
Okay.
the Department of Planning and the chairman prior to the scheduled meeting. We're going to strike the 48,
Gotcha.
just in case you can't predict you're catching the flu or whatever reason.
Gotcha. Hope not.
And then if we need to, I guess, do we need to add that appeal option in there to determine the reasonableness of the miss?
Yeah, I think we should add a sentence
Okay.
just stating that, yes.
Okay. All absences will count equally unless determined by.
Or maybe something along the lines of all absences will be reviewed by the planning director and legal counsel and chairman.
That's, okay, I'm
Yeah.
with that. Okay. All right, we'll include that in my amendment as well. That's all I have.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Then what we're going to do is I will make a motion to accept the adoption of the bylaws with the new amendments that Commissioner Miller has proposed and as stated as such. We have a second by Mr. Villa. Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed. Okay, moving on. Staff report.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I'd like to announce that the moratorium on the subdivision of property has ended as of May 31st, right? The planning department is open. If someone would like to schedule a pre-application meeting or discuss with us a future project, we'd be happy to entertain that, all right, at this point in time. I'd like to let you know on that front, though, as far as any backlog that we have since the moratorium, there are about 7 or 8 simple divisions that we're processing right now. Then they're in the queue. There are no family petitions and no major or minor subdivision submissions at this time, so we have not received any, all right? I'd like to also announce that the new ordinance changes that were approved by the council are on our website, and you can find those when you download the Unified Land Development Code section, all right? They're at the very top, and they're announced as new ordinance changes, all right? So you can find those on our website, all right? So they are announced. And that's all I have, and I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Poche, who's can give you the subdivision update.
Thank you, Mr. Fournier. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, you have the typical normal monthly subdivision report. There were no changes from last month. The only item of note, I think I mentioned last month on Windermere Crossing at Cannon Road and Roddy, they were prepared to start the widening of Cannon Road the middle of this month. Barber Brothers has been waiting for their allotment of soil cement. and they've had to push it back another couple of weeks, so it looks like they're telling me now it's gonna be towards the end of the month. As soon as they get it ready, we're gonna get started, and the parish will make notification to the public as far in advance as possible, as far as any road closures or changing routes. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, I think we're good. Number 9, engineering staff report. We have no staff report for that today. Number 10, approval or denial of the minutes of the May 11th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Miller has made a motion to approve, second by Commissioner Varnado. All in favor? Okay, no nays. Motion pass. Number 11, consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have an affidavit of mortgage declaration, Joshua and Samantha Marks, Lot Y-1-B, 3112 Township Road, under Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Can I get a motion for the consent agenda? Motion by Commissioner Kluwat, second by Commissioner Villa. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passed. Part 12.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you.